Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we're going to be taking a look at the stock market, which had an incredible rally today, and the S&P 500 was up 10%, something that we haven't seen in so many years. The Nasdaq was up 15%, and some of the leading stocks include Apple, which was up 20%, Nvidia was up 25%, Microsoft was up 40%. I mean, this is absolutely insane. And we're going to be analyzing everything today in simple terms. So even if you're a new investor, stick around. Hopefully you learn something new today. And let's just get right into it. All right, so obviously, if you couldn't tell, that was an April Fool's joke. Happy April 1st to everyone. The S&P was only up a third of a percent, but that's obviously better than being red. The Nasdaq was up almost 1%, and the Dow was essentially flat. Now, if we take a look at the stock screener, we can see that most stocks were actually green today, and this did come with a lot of volatility. In the morning, we actually were red after we got a jobs report called the JOLTS data, which showed us actually a slowdown in jobs growth. And that's obviously not great, and stocks really did get sold off in the morning. And we saw a similar thing yesterday where in the morning it was looking like a very dark and gloomy day, but we ended up rallying kind of into the close, and that's basically what happened today. And as you can see, most stocks are green. The only sector that is seeing some red today is healthcare sector, and we'll get to that in just a second. But first, I do want to take a look at something a little bit more fun. We have been talking a lot about tariffs on the channel, and I know tariffs can be boring and confusing, and honestly quite frustrating to always be talking about them. So instead of boring you with tariffs, I'm here to show you something truly incredible. This is Newsmax stock. Newsmax, if you haven't heard of it, it's a cable channel network. It's kind of like Fox News or CNN, and it tends to lean far right. So it's basically like Fox News's younger brother, and well, their shares are up 183% today after pumping 700% yesterday. So they're now up 1,300% in 2 days after IPOing yesterday. And their IPO price was $10, meaning they got listed at 10. You could have bought them at 10 exactly 48 hours ago, or maybe a little bit more than that, but you get the point. And now it's $233, which is just absolutely insane. This is unheard of. And actually, their market cap is now bigger than Fox News. So that basically that kind of screams overvalued, because obviously their revenue is not as high as Fox News, and they're they don't have as much viewership. And yeah, I mean, it's just kind of crazy how this happens. I think this is some kind of April Fool's joke that the stock market pulled on us. And it is down 20% after hours, so I do kind of expect a bloodbath on this stock tomorrow. But it would be pretty funny if it went up another 100%. But I really don't think that's going to happen. I guess we'll see. Anyway, let's get back to the screener. So let's talk about healthcare real quick. So Johnson & Johnson is down 7.5% today, and that is probably its biggest drop in many years. It really doesn't go down that much. It usually swings either 1 or 2%. It's really not a volatile stock at all. And the reason it's down this much is they lost a court trial, and obviously that's not great for them, and that's why the rest of the sector is taking a beating. We have Eli Lilly down 2.5%, Pfizer was down 3%, and so on. However, the sectors that did do good today is the tech sector. We are seeing money rotate back into tech right before April 2nd, aka Trump tariff day. And that is very interesting to me, because I thought that these stocks would be kind of getting a sell off, because obviously everyone is afraid for tomorrow. Nobody really knows what Trump's going to do. But instead, we are actually getting a rotation into the more risky stocks. And that's just kind of interesting. And all the Mag 7 stocks, which have not done well for the past 3 months, are now green today. And most of these recession proof stocks are actually red. So, what's actually going on here? Well, I honestly think that people have just had enough of selling the Mag 7 stocks. I mean, they're really getting beaten down. And I think at some point, we have to realize how important all these companies are and how great they are and how profitable they are. And at some point, they just get too cheap to ignore. I mean, when you have Nvidia trading at its lowest level, cheapest level in 5 years, you would much rather take that opportunity over something like Pepsi, which, might give you 10% returns. Okay, cool, but when you have Nvidia at a price this cheap, you just can't really ignore it. And the final thing I do want to talk about is April 2nd, which is tomorrow. And that is obviously the Trump tariff day. And luckily, today is the last day that I have to talk about it. And tomorrow, we're finally going to find out what Trump has been planning. But I did just want to say that with how much the stock market has dropped, if I just quickly look at the S&P year to date, it is down 4% for the year. And if we take it off the highs, it is down 8%, which is almost in a correction territory. And correction just means a 10% decline or more on the S&P 500. And really, a lot of individual stocks are down 20% or more, meaning that they are in a bear market. And that's basically just suggesting that a lot of bad news that could come tomorrow is already priced in. So even if we get something that we don't really want to see tomorrow, the chances are that we're now going to drop necessarily like in a violent way. It might be a little bit more chill. And if we get some good news tomorrow, then we could actually get a nice rally because, we've sold off so much that there's a lot of room to climb back up. It's obviously a couple months ago in 2024, when everything was always at all-time highs, any bad news brought us down a lot because that's what happens when you're at all-time highs and valuations are getting expensive. But when you're kind of at the level we're at right now, where we already had a sell-off, now there's enough room to really get a nice bounce from here. And I don't expect to go back to all-time highs right away. It's obviously not going to happen in a straight line, but over the long term, you can at least kind of expect that to happen if tomorrow is or goes well according to plan. And I really think it will, but I don't want to speak too soon. It's all going to be revealed in about I believe 16 hours from now, or maybe 20. I might be doing the math wrong, but yeah, we're going to find out what Trump is going to do, and I'm going to keep you guys updated on how the stock market gets affected by it. It's going to be really, really interesting. So, yeah, I think that's going to do it for this episode. If you want to see how the Trump tariffs play out, make sure to join back tomorrow. I'll be back here covering the stock market in simple terms so that everyone can understand, hopefully. And yeah, hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time.